Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all, Awesome Naya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video about a teacher who actually told Black people that it is not advisable that they send their children to a predominantly white school. That it's okay or better for them to send their children where they will see people that look like them, but not predominantly white school because it affects their learning and the microaggression and passive aggression, like all of it also affect the child mentally. You all already know because some people when they move suburb and all that, they think the best thing they can do to their kids, probably sending them to a predominantly white school because they feel like they get better education and all that. But that is actually very damaging. And she actually gave reasons why she said that. And a Hispanic woman actually came out to say that her child was, or her niece was in a school where there were Black people and other people, but her niece was jumped on, right, by Black children, like Black kids. And what is the reason? Because she has a curly hair. That math I ain't even mathing. I am still trying to wrap my head around it. But in essence, some people are like a lot of people do that a lot when they change or move environment. They put their kids in a predominantly white school, and then that is where the child start having so many problems. Let's get into this.
Let's talk about why putting your Black or Latino Latinx child in an all-white elementary, middle school, and high school is not highly recommended. So one of the top reasons that people of color may put their children in a predominantly white elementary or middle school or high school is because of the grades or their academic progress. So because these schools have more funding, they're better able to educate your kids because they have more resources, more teachers who are qualified or experienced, and they usually use teaching methods that are new and up to date. But the problem with this is that you're putting your child in the most mentally unstable environment that you can think of. I met this white woman a couple of years ago who adopted a Black son. And I was having a conversation with her where she was sharing to me that she shared with me that her Black high schooler at the time was struggling in high school. And I asked her about her son's school. And she said that it was a predominantly white school and that she wanted to put her kid there because she didn't want him to go to a different school than her other child, her biological child, because she didn't want him to feel different. And in my head, I'm like, this child is extremely Black. He already feels different. Look at you. I don't get how you don't want him to feel different when he's already different. That's number one. And you know why I didn't say that? I was just listening to her. And she was telling me that he was struggling on a real personal level. He seemed very mad. And I suggested to her, maybe you should pull him out of that school and put him in a diverse school where he's not the only Black kid. And honestly, I don't really think she listened because her biggest message was that she didn't want him to feel different, without realizing that in the school that she's placed him in is a place where he's totally going to feel different because he's going to school with students from all walks of life. And honestly, probably 90% of them are super mega racist. And he was probably encountering all of the microaggressions you can think of. I gave my suggestion. She didn't listen. I moved on. But I highly, highly believe that when your children are young, it is super, super, super important that if you cannot get them in a school where there's predominantly Black and Hispanic or Latinx kids and teachers, that then you find alternative programs where you can surround your children around their own people. Because when your children are very young, it is super, super important that you help build their identity. And placing them in predominantly white spaces is not going to give them the best opportunities to learn about themselves so that they can grow up to be confident adults and productive humans in society who will help their people progress as well. So I've been a teacher for 9 years and I've taught thousands of students. Most of my students have been Black and brown students. I have had very few white students because I've only taught in schools where there's a predominantly Black and brown population. Not only have I taught for 9 years, but I'm also a mom and I have kids in school as well. So you think that because your one niece went to school in New Jersey, that's enough proof to show that kids, black and brown kids, are not going to experience racism? I not only have quantitative data to disprove you, but I also have qualitative data, meaning I've had thousands of experience with children to debunk what you just said. But even if you don't want to take my anecdotal experience with thousands of kids, you can just do the research. This study here done by the Journal of Public Administration Research states that if your kid, black or brown, is in a PWI, predominantly white school or institution, their teachers are 54% less likely to recommend your child for a gifted program. Meaning AP classes, IB classes, they have a lesser chance to be recommended by white teachers. Here's a study on attendance and how when teachers don't understand the culture of their students and can't communicate with the parents, their grades are affected. Here's a study that talks about how Latino students who have darker complexion have reported experiencing discrimination at higher rates than their white-skinned Latino counterparts. Like, y'all think that I pull this out my ass, but little do y'all know, some of y'all at least, that I have years of experience in teaching and years of experience dealing with parents and students and administration. I'm a top-tier teacher. So sorry, your one anecdotal experience does not debunk what I said about racial discrimination in the US when it comes to Latinx, Hispanic, Latino kids.
It is abundantly clear that you don't truly realize what your comment says about you. So without TikTok, having earnest conversations with black women wasn't an option for you. Building community with black women wasn't an option for you. You simply utilized proximity at work, in the neighborhood, etc. as enough diversity for you. You never paid any attention to our existence. You never paid any attention to how you interacted with us. And being on TikTok, you got a chance to see and hear for yourself. And that removing the curtain and exposing the Wizard of Oz was too much for you. And accountability for yourself and your sisterhood was too much for you. And you're taking it as hate. Now I noticed that you utilize the term reverse racism, which is foolishness at best. Because if you reverse something, what are you doing? Take a moment to think. We black women discussing our experiences with white women is not a form of racism. We holding you accountable and calling you out for your problematic actions and verbiage is not racism. You choosing to ignore our existence until you search for entertainment online and you assume that that entertainment is going to come in the form of a feminine black face. That's not our problem. Because this comment does not reek of deconstruction or searching out edification. It reeks of you find your entertainment through black women, so you sought us out, and what you received wasn't entertaining. So now you're butthurt. You came to this app for us to be your Negro, and when you found out that we are not, You are now in shambles. Sucks to be you. Truly sucks to be you. Quick question. Do you say this to the Jewish community when they discuss the Holocaust? Also, this comment just shows how black-centered you all are. That your focus is on just attempting to gaslight the black diaspora. Because you never heard of MMIW? You've never heard of Land Back? You haven't seen them working on legislation regarding getting clean water, reclaiming their sacred land. You haven't seen their very public discourse regarding blood quantum? You haven't seen them discussing the $5 Indian rule? They are loud. They are working diligently to right the wrongs committed against them. They are boisterous in protecting their community. Hell, they have to scream for you not to wear their regalia, their culture as costumes, and to not sexualize them. So, sorry not sorry that you are choosing to let all of us know that above all you fervently hate black people and you pay no attention to anyone but yourself.
So this is all I got from the stitches, and the truth is that black people have been saying this. I don't know, but yeah, they've been saying this way before now. That some people, let's say some black people, actually, those are the ones that do not understand. They think that putting their kids in predominantly we make their kids probably better or make life easier for them, but it's only I don't know, but a silly or a senseless person that will do something like that. I am of the opinion that you put your kids where they will also see people like them in the same school. It is really very dangerous putting a black child or putting a child in a school where he or she is probably one out of how many, you know? And the truth is that some of them do not listen when you tell them, but I think probably because they are in suburb and all that. When you are in suburb, like you do like it is in suburb, but the kids come back most times not complete. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I'm just trying to limit some certain things and the rest of it. Racism is real, and it is horrifying if parents are going to allow their kids or see that their kids are going through that and think because there are kids that they are going to adapt or they will go thick skin, as time goes on and all that. You are actually damaging that child and probably the child's self-esteem and all that microaggression, passive aggression, and the rest of it. For how long is that child going to endure? Like for how many years that he or she is in high school or quit school and all elementary or high school and all that. I mean, we can do better. Probably some people want people in suburb, they have good fundings and all that. But I think the child's mental health is more important than any other thing. And you are also going to find out that the child is going to be struggling Why? Because attention is not going to be given to, if you think because he is in a, like, suburb and all, they are not going to give him attention because he is not that important. And also neighborhoods where there are no, the same thing, but some people do not understand. They think it's I do not have any problem with people probably wanting a better life for them. It's really beautiful. Everybody wants that for him or herself, but make sure that you don't overdo it in a way that your child or your children are being affected. And then let's get into people that are always very quick to tell Black people that they thought that Black people or these Black people are that, but then they came on TikTok only to find out that Black people are not what they thought they are and all that. I really don't understand what you people think we are, telling us that you used to like Black women in general before I got on TikTok and realized, you know, how Black women really feel about white women. So over the reverse. See, what reverse racism are we talking about? Not until you all start educating yourselves on what is and what is not. Because as long as I am concerned, there is nothing like reverse racism. You all better go sit down because you all this period have been looking for a way to excuse your silly attitude and all that towards people that look like me. Every day you all wake up, all you want to do is gaslight. Because this bear and the man versus the bear and all that really brought out so many things that Black women, I think Black women already know because they have foresight. They see ahead of every other person. And when they tell you, it's either you listen or you don't listen. They've been know this before. That's why they told them plain, we would rather work with white men than working with you because you all are very problematic. They are very problematic, And that is also the same reverse racism that this woman also said, the one that said that my niece, as they are talking about making sure that you send your school to where they can find people of their kind to enable them learn and all that, and also adapting it's easier, right? One said no, that my niece went to a white school, middle school in the Bronx, and she was jumped by Black girls because of her curly hair when she moved to NJ. The white girls here love her. You all are out there lying. What is it? What is it with her and curly, or what is it with Black people? And does it mean that Black people don't have curly hair? That they are going to jump on somebody for having a curly hair? Are you people okay? And then they move to white school, bronze, and then the white girls love her. They are always looking for a way to dent. Like there is nothing they don't talk about without bringing Black people. If they do not bring Black people into the communication, it is not complete. It is not enough. But I think you guys can actually do better because I am tired of waking up to everybody dragging Black people into something they know nothing about. It's really crazy. Like it looks like some people are waiting, to wake up and continue from where they stop. And then I love it when people come correct. She also put it aside where they said that 64% of Black people, like when they go to school, where the people like them are not, like the percentage of them not doing well is like very high because they are also not being recommended for if there is anything that need the teacher, if there is anything the teacher needs to recommend them for, probably for a scholarship and all that, they don't get that. Why? Because how would they give that to you when they have their own? So first of all, it is theirs over you. So see you all in my next video, but you all can do better. See, Hispanic, Latinos, Asians, you all can do better. and leave Black people alone. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.